we all understand what payment terms and receivable is. It basically establishes the due date of an invoice. Okay. And we are familiar with the standard payment terms like net 30, net 45, net 60, immediate, and things like that. But sometimes client have particular requirements or specific requirements, and they ask us if that's possible, because business pays a lot of attention to payment terms. For configurators like us, it may be a simple activity, but for business, it has a lot of weightage, because obviously it's basically for receiving the money on in a given span of time, right? So sometimes they ask questions. So in one of my previous project, they asked me whether we can set up a payment method in a very specific way. That is, let's say uh, payment happens, the transaction happens in a given month. Can we set up something that the due date of that invoice is the next month's 10th fixed date? That is, whether it is June 1st or June 30th, the payment date will be July 10th. Whether if it's January 10th, January 10th, the payment date will be due date will be February 10th. So if it's January 1st also, it will be February 10th. Whether it's January 31st also, it will be February 10th. So can we set up a payment method or due date like that? Okay, that's a question. So let's try to do that. Okay. So let's go to the payment methods. You should type in receivable payment terms, because payables also has the same name. So it's called payable payment terms. Okay, receivable payable terms. Click on that one and just search for it. You can see that there are a lot of payment terms which have been defined already. Duplicate it, because we'll need a specific information. Go to receivable payment terms again and click on plus to create a new one. Okay. Now let's go and edit something which is already existing. I'm just going to copy the stuff here. So this will be common. Whichever you're using, you can use that. So I'm going to use the common one. So we can call it like next month 10 or anything, depending on your business, what you want to do, you can do that. I'm not setting up any discounts or prepayments or anything like that. So discount basis, you can give what you want. I generally pick up what they have in the other payment methods. So invoice amount. Okay. So you can just set up this with some old date. Okay. Installment option. Let's see what they have done. Include tax and freight. Okay. So this is nothing, specific to our requirement. So base amount is 100. Let the base amount be. Now come to the sequence under the payment schedule. Okay. Click on this. Okay, when you click here, it'll say relative amount 100. Okay, so here what you do, day of the month. Okay, instead of date, you have to give due day, due by. Day of the month is 10, and months ahead make it as 1. Okay, and save. Copy this, save and close. All right, now let's go to billing and let's try to create a transaction. Select the business unit, manual, just put some transaction number now, test. Let's call it ABC. Okay, so we are in 3rd of June. If I go, and I can set it by default, but if I say this next month 10th, it becomes 10th of July. Let's say I select 30th of June, it's still 10th of July. And let's say I say 15th of June, okay, that's also 10th of July. Okay, now let's change the date to, let's say, July 1st. You can see it became August 10th. Okay, so that's a quick thing which I wanted to show you, because many people do ask, and you can set up different dates, different months, based on the setup. You can see here, you can use the specific day of the month and how many months ahead. If it's 2 months, you can accordingly set it up, so not an issue. Okay, again, for this you can set up certain discounts also. Again, if you have so many different payment methods with a lot of such days, discounts may or may not be applicable, but that is for your requirement. But check it out. Let me know if it works for you. Thank you so much.